How are we, my friends? I hope you are having a good Saturday so far, and I am back tonight with another news roundup. It is the international break, and that means a couple of things. Of course, there's no fixtures to talk about, but we do have plenty of transfer news. The January transfer window is fast approaching, and the Reds have been linked with a few more players. I know people watching these think that I believe every news story that's out there. I don't. I just want to report the news as the journalists write the stories and give them to you guys to make your mind up on. We're going to be focusing on Schlotterbeck today. We're going to discuss the situation with Jurgen Klopp and when the cracks started to show in his Liverpool tenure. James Pearce has given a bit of insight there. There'll be a link to Michael Olise and a few other bits and pieces that I hope keep you right up to date. You know the drill, folks. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I appreciate all of your support. If you do enjoy the video, hit that like button. Right, loads to get through, and I want to start off with a story that caught my eye. I probably should have brought this story to you sooner, and you may have seen it elsewhere, but Netflix are set to bid for the Champions League rights. UEFA are hoping to earn about £4.4 billion a year from the club competition TV rights, including from Netflix. Now, that's just yet another subscription that football fans would have to come up with. Look, to be fair, most of us probably already have Netflix accounts, and if they go down the road of what they've done with boxing, which is to just include it as part of your subscription, I don't think that will be too bad. Now, with the amount of money it would probably cost Netflix to get those Champions League rights, I would dare say our accounts are probably going to get a little bit more expensive. But let me know your thoughts on this one. Look, I'm with everybody who's fed up of having to have so many subscriptions to so many different things to watch football. Sky, TNT Sports, DAZN in some countries, now maybe Netflix, Amazon Prime as well. When will it ever end? I don't know, but again, let us know your thoughts. Let's move on now to Peter O'Rourke, who said that Liverpool are set to battle with Bayern Munich to sign Borussia Dortmund defender Nico Schlotterbeck. This guy has been spoken about as a potential future leader of our defence when Virgil van Dijk moves on. Now, I'm not saying we're going to wait till Virgil moves on to bring him in, but we do know a situation at Dortmund is that it's looking far less likely that he'll agree a new deal there. Bayern Munich are, of course, in the mix, and I don't really know what way this one goes, to be honest, folks. Nico Schlotterbeck is a name that when I talk about him on streams and in videos, people really do respond positively to, well, the thoughts of Liverpool signing him. I don't know what way it goes, as I said, but do let me know how you're feeling on this one. Marc Guehi is the one at the top of my list because I see leadership in him. Obviously, he's massively impressed, and we've played against Crystal Palace, and just watching him play for both England and Crystal Palace, you can see why we and many other clubs are interested. The Konate situation we covered a little bit earlier on. Still no news on when he's going to tell us one way or the other, but he did say he hopes to have the news soon. So whether you can read that as a good thing or a bad thing, I really don't know. But like everybody else, I hope he signs. If we can bring in Marc A, then on top of that, I don't think we'll be too far away. But, of course, we're still waiting. Now, I want to just talk about a post from Anfield Edition that caught my eye because fair play to them. They've posted to say, best of luck to former Liverpool winger Jordan Ibe, who was signed for Bulgarian side Lokomotiv Sofia on a contract until 2027. After being open about his battle with depression, it's great to see Jordan still out there playing football. Go and smash it, they said. Fair play. It's lovely that they highlighted that he's still battling through. It's lovely that they highlighted, of course, struggles with mental health, as we know it affects everybody. Of course, I don't wish mental health issues on anybody, but fair play to Jordan Ibe. I just wanted to back up what the lads at Anfield Edition said. Wish him nothing but the best. I remember seeing him, a bit of a tangent here for you, but I remember seeing him in Dublin when Liverpool were playing at the Aviva, and I remember thinking to myself, and actually saying to my wife, this guy here is going to be the new Raheem Sterling. That's how convinced I was that it was going to work out for Jordan Ibe. But it's great to see that he still has the passion for football, and wishing him the very best over in Bulgaria. Right, I did mention to you guys at the start of the video that there was a piece from James Pearce. I think it's part of James Pearce's new book, but it's an excerpt from it that kind of talks about when the cracks started to show in Jurgen's tenure at Liverpool. He said, or he writes, excuse me, a number of people said to me that they actually felt the first signs of Jurgen Klopp feeling the strain was coming up to Christmas 2022. If you remember rightly, Liverpool were at a training camp in Dubai, and the idea was obviously that the Qatar World Cup was on, and as the players got knocked out of that tournament, they'd link up with the Liverpool squad ahead of the season restarting. And yes, people said that there was then they first started to see that everything was absolutely fine with Jurgen in terms of the demands and the pressures getting to him. I do have sympathy for Premier League managers right up and down the league table. It is a very very, very high pressure environment. And for Jurgen to have lasted as long as he has, and of course Guardiola, Wenger, Sir Alex Ferguson before, you know, you can see the toll it takes on these guys. Even Mourinho, I say it over and over again, they come into the Premier League looking fresh-faced and young, and then a few years later the stress does start to take its toll. These days you can see Jurgen cuts a much happier, relaxed figure, which again we can only wish him and his family the very best for the future, and good insight there from Mr. James Pearce. So, Florian Wirtz criticism, we're all fed up of it, right? So am I. But now the German press are starting to add to it. I was reading a piece in the Echo earlier on, and they went through all the different newspapers in Germany and how they reacted to Florian Wirtz's performance. And the consensus seemed to be that Florian Wirtz particularly struggled. Of course, Nick Voltmatter grabbed a couple of goals in that 2-0 win for Germany, but still the criticism flows for Florian Wirtz. I think it's incumbent and it is important for us Liverpool fans to show support to Flo. People are going to be trying to make this out to be a failing of a transfer, and like I've said many times, I personally have zero doubts that this kid is going to come good, but we need to stand firm and make sure he knows that he has our support, because without that, it's just going to be harder for him. This really is a time where we need to stand up on social media, whatever platform you use, and let Florian Wirtz know that we have his back and we know he's going to come good. Now, former Netherlands and Chelsea player Khalid Boulahrouz said, I think Micky van de Ven is the ideal successor to Virgil van Dijk, both for the Dutch national team and for Liverpool. Liverpool is not crazy. If you're looking for a world-class defender and you have enough money, they reckon that he's the guy. Now, Spurs won't want to sell him. Why would they? He's leading that Spurs team. The only thing I would say about Micky van de Ven, and regular viewers of the channel will know, I've always referred to him as the one that I feel got away when George Schmadtke was making those signings. It's the injury concerns. There's no qualms about him as a player. He's got pace to burn. He's a fantastic centre-back. Can play left side of a back three as well. But the injury concerns would be the thing for me that would, well, concern me the most. But if it was possible, I wouldn't say no to Van de Ven from a footballing perspective. I think he's a wonderful player. So, Ficajes, I know. Like I say, I bring you the stories. I'm not trying to say that they're credible or that they aren't. That's up to you to decide. But this piece here said that Liverpool view Bayern Munich forward Michael Olise as the perfect replacement for Egypt's Mohamed Salah and are prepared to break the bank to sign the Frenchman. The 23-year-old has been directly involved in 14 goals in 17 matches for Bayern this season, and he's hailed as one of the best wingers in the world right now. And look, I actually think there is truth to this story, because they're not the first and they won't be the last linking us to Michael Olise. What I don't know, and what many of us don't know, is when Bayern may be open to an offer, if indeed they ever are, what that release clause is and when it kicks in. I would reckon you're looking at upwards of £100 million, not euro, pound, to sign Michael Olise. The thought process that I've seen from a lot of journalists and I guess fan accounts is that when Salah moves on, Liverpool may turn their attention to Olise. And there's a couple of things about that. Firstly, he'd be 25 years of age, which is right in that sweet spot in the prime of his career. And Liverpool, as we know, like players to have had a career before the Liverpool career. And at the age of 25 in 18 months' time, Olise would have had a partial Premier League career, of course, with Crystal Palace. He'd be a fully fledged international and well established, and will have gone to Bayern Munich, won the Bundesliga, and who knows what else in his time there. So for me, that's the ideal scenario. Do we have the patience to wait that long? Well, I don't know the answer to that one. The links that we brought to you earlier on for Antoine Semenyo, they're certainly heating up, and it looks as if, according to David C. Kopp, that there's already conversations between Liverpool, or preliminary conversations between Liverpool and Bournemouth over a potential move for him. I don't think Bournemouth would want to lose him in January, but again, for me, the priority for Liverpool in this upcoming market would be to get a centre-back in. One way or the other, I think we need to bring in a centre-back. One injury, and I think we're screwed for the remainder of the season. The league may be a step too far, but I really feel we can be competitive in both that and the Champions League, and particularly in the latter, I think we have a chance to win that trophy if we can get our act together by the knockout stages. Of course, we're also interested to see how the manager's going to line the lads up when Mohamed Salah heads off to the AFCON. Will we see Florian Wirtz dropped into a number 10 position behind Isak and Ekitike, or will he finally give Federico Chiesa his opportunity on the right side of attack? These and lots more things we will find out the answer to, folks, over the coming weeks. But as always, I want to know your thoughts on all of these stories. Michael Olise, Antoine Semenyo, which one would be your personal favourite? Or maybe you have another winger. Can't rule out the kid from Lyon either. His name has been linked to Liverpool for quite a while. while. Will Liverpool make the move for Malik Fofana? Well, I think he's there for the taking. Somebody's going to get him. If the scouts think he's good enough, maybe we can throw his name into the mix as well. So look, enjoy your Saturday night. If you're like me, you're looking forward to the Conor Benn, Chris Eubank fight, and maybe even the UFC card later on tonight. No more live content tomorrow, but as I mentioned, we'll have a couple of videos for you, and then we'll be back to our regular live schedule from Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for your time. We'll talk soon.